Hello and welcome. You're watching Greenwich live sessions, and this is your host Umar Khan. I'm back with another show, another guest. And before I introduce my very special guest for today, I have with me a student from Greenwich University, Sundus Anwar, who will be co-hosting the program today alongside me. And now I'll be introducing my special guest for today. Where can I start from? She's done such brilliant things in her life. But to start with, she's a dynamic business leader, director of multiple companies, the first female director to be on the board of Pakistan's only international bulk terminal PIBT, recipient of Government of Sindh Award in 2007 for outstanding services in business, and recipient of Greenwich Alumnus Award in 2007. She was also a participant of USA State Department International Mentoring Partnership Program. And we're so happy to have you, ma'am. Welcome to ma'am
Welcome.
Farah Agha.
It's an absolute pleasure being here.
And thank you so much for your time,
Thank you
and
so
thank
much.
you so much for joining us. So, how have you been spending all this time in COVID-19? Has life and work affected you?
Absolutely. I think it's affected each and every one of us.
Every
But
one of us.
absolutely. जी बिल्कुल. So what I've been doing differently is हमें इतना free time कभी मिलता नहीं है. So what I've been logging on to live con calls every night, doing webinars with various forums, trying to build myself both educationally wise as well as spiritually. So I think it's been an amazing opportunity.
Absolutely, and we do look forward to opportunities. I think this pandemic has lots of blessing in disguise as well, where people are all worried and stressed. I think there are lots of opportunities as well. So I'll move towards my co-host for the first question because she's really excited to have you with us. So over to you, Sundus.
Okay, thank you so much for introducing me, Umar. Really appreciate it. Ma'am, first of all, you're a huge inspiration to all of us girls. You have no idea. Because looking at a woman who is so established and so well, formed, it really inspires a lot of females. It's a big inspiration.
Very kind of you.
No, thank you so much. So your journey, ma'am, is definitely remarkable. As Umar has introduced you, it's amazing. So what do you have to say about it? How do you sum it up? Like, what do you see?
I think I've been blessed, and I feel that God has been great. I've been given a lot of opportunities which most people are not privy to. So I think it's a lot to do with someone up there who has very high regards for me in a lot of ways. I feel, however, that अभी मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया है. मैं पाकिस्तान आई हूँ 10 साल बाद. और अभी I think I have had to reinvent myself, and I think अभी मेरी journey फिर शुरू हुई है, and I look forward to trying to break the glass ceiling, hopefully, so that there are many other women who can follow.
Absolutely, and not even women. I think there are lots of men who would like to follow your footsteps as well. Because you've done such wonders in life. I think that many men should follow your lead as well.
That's very sweet of you, Umar. That's very sweet of you.
Absolutely. Sundus, your next question.
Okay, so my next question is, what are the challenges that you faced when you are at this position now? Like, you are definitely a leading position, so the challenges are way much. So give us some insight.
Actually not a very good picture. Previously, when I was in Pakistan, I was looking after 3 spinning mills, and there were more women, I feel, as far as industry में. अब जब मैं 10 साल बाद वापस आई हूँ, so I feel a lot of more women have moved towards sectors such as FMCGs and banks. So the sectors which are hardcore manufacturing, large-scale sectors, आप कह लें, most of them, we have lost a lot of women. Industry as a whole, unfortunately, has been on a demise in its entirety. And I guess जब industry ही कम लगी है, तो औरतों का उसमें आना और मुश्किल हो गया है. So it's become a catch-22 situation.
I can totally agree.
But I wish we can contribute to this change but अब वापस आके और कम औरतें हो गई हैं. So and the
Oh my
mentality
God.
has regressed. And me staying 10 years away in UAE, where expat women are treated in a very different respect, so probably it's become more harder for me to even adjust back here. So it's been interesting, but frankly disappointing at the same time.
So, how would you like to change it? What would your suggestions be to make this thing and surrounding environment better for the working woman?
I think we need to empower women. There need to be more women at the helm of affairs. Thankful to Imran Khan that उन्होंने चंद औरतों को अपने नए initiatives में भर्ती किया है. But we need to see more women on top, more women in positions of power, so that we are taken seriously. I still feel that when I do go to Islamabad on various conferences and in various programs, women are looked at objectifiedly. Like it's more on our appearance. It's more on we're taken as objects. And Sundas, I can see, is wiping her face in reaction to that. So I feel that we need to be taken way more seriously for the cadre and the matter that we have, and not, frankly, just for a pretty face.
I totally agree to it, because that's the irony. What you just said is like, we don't look at the potential and the talent, and we just go for the appearance mostly, and that is the very rough side. However, I personally, if you ask me, I always believe that females are much more competent in many ways. For example, throughout my student life, and like 99%, 98%, 95%, 90%, that's the amount of marks a female gets. Now इतने में तो 3 बेचारे गरीब लड़के पास हो जाता है. So
उसके बाद क्या होता है, उनकी शादी कराती जाती. And there's nothing wrong with getting married. But
Nothing wrong.
the biggest problem we have then is finding men who are okay with us doing well. Okay, then
That's so
finding
true.
a husband
That's so true.
who is okay in his skin enough to handle somebody like us becomes a big mountain.
you
And-
raised a very nice point. I'll totally I'll totally second this. That first of all, there are lots of men who would say, we want an educated female, we need a working female, we need someone who's in the industry so they can understand our mindset and all. But once they get along with them, they cannot handle the personality. They start the competition. So what I believe as a male, I would say that be supportive. You guys are life partners. No, your spouse is not your competition. You have to complement each other. So to all men out there, who wants a working lady as a wife, so please support her and help her to fulfill her dreams, rather than be an obstacle to for her success. That's what I'd like to say on this.
Exactly, Umar. It's teamwork. Just because one person is doing better, that doesn't mean she's competing with you. You're working towards the same goal. You're like a vehicle with two. कहते हैं ना, गाड़ी के दो पहिए. So it has to be in unison. And if a woman is a breadwinner in today's time, it definitely helps because things are getting more expensive. We are having massive issues. The rupee is devaluing on a horrible rate. Let's not even get into international dynamics. But it's very interesting, and sad reality is कि अगर but एक और भी issue है. औरतों के साथ मैंने ये भी देखा यहाँ पे कि okay, if she goes out to work, then when she comes home, the mother-in-law and XYZ expect her to do all this housework, which you need to realize that if you came back home and you were tired and you had to do that, how would that make you feel? So you need to be more forgiving and a little bit more even, she could have had a bad day at the office. You sometimes get shit from your boss, and you come home and you expect your wife to listen to you and understand what you've been through. She will be going through that as well. So it has to be a quid pro quo system, where you're supportive of each other. और अगर ये नहीं होगा, तो you're bound to be living on a single income household. और वो जो है, फिर आप देख लें उसमें And if God forbid in today's time, if one person loses his job, जो कि आजकल बहुत एक issue बना हुआ है, people are losing
What?
jobs worldwide. You know, the pandemic has its own ramifications. So if you have your eggs in more than one basket, you are likely to survive this turbulent era.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you just made another fan. I can see from Sundar's expression, really happy and inspired. So,
I am so happy. I'm so sorry I'm interrupting all of you. I am so happy that my start was with you. You have no idea. You summed up my whole equation of a woman in such a small little piece. Thank you so much. And that is so correct. Being a working woman myself, we face so much. You're so true.
You know, and I understand the dynamics of what men go through. It's not easy to be
It's true.
and we understand that. You know, I have my sympathies to men out there because it is tough times. But you know, and the economy is going down a very uncharted territory, you know. So we don't know what's going to happen. We do not know what the ramifications of COVID-19 are going to be. And it's a wait and watch situation. The governments around the world don't know how to respond to this issue because we've never dealt with anything of this cadre and caliber in our lives. So it's a very interesting time. And like Umar was kind enough to point out, that everything comes with opportunities. And a lot of people have to reevaluate the traditional businesses that they were involved in. And this is an opportunity for a lot of more young people because they are more tech savvy. So definitely amazing opportunities. And I think the youngsters like yourselves should take part in all of this and take advantage of this situation.
Absolutely. And if I talk about myself, noticing my mother since childhood and the way she raised me, I say all women are superwomen. And you just sorted that they go to work, they come back, and then they have to look after the house. And, raising a child is not easy at all.
Even if they don't go to work, you guys are home these days. You
yes.
now realize कदर होगी आप लोगों को कि वो घर काम नहीं भी करते हुए घर को संभालना कितना काम होता है.
बहुत बड़ा. That's such a big true thing, ma'am.
Oh,
I bow down to the homemakers. Bow down, definitely.
So I don't find women who raise kids, or I think it's a full-time job.
It is indeed.
Massive full-time job.
But again, the thing is that a father comes, he just plays with the child for like 10 minutes and then says, "Ye lo samalo." So if the father needs, if he looks after the child for a whole day, try to feed him, run after him around the house and change the pampers, then he'll get to realize,
पता चल रहा है ना phone call के दौरान वो एक बच्चा यहाँ से कुछ फेंक रहा है तो कुछ वहां से टूट रहा है. कौन कॉल करो घर पे बैठ के. Now you're realizing what drama goes on.
And there was this famous story that once a toddler, a little child, asks his father that, "Dad, what's a man?" So the father replies, "A man is a person who is responsible, who takes care of the family, who looks after everything and fulfills everything on time." So the child replies that when I grow up, I want to be a man like you.
I heard it.
By the way, somebody just put up a very interesting video, which is an Islamic viewpoint. He is an Islamic scholar. And I know the men are going to hate me for saying
I know this. Yes, I know this.
He said, my money is her money. In crude terminology, he said, my money is her money. So if I even give her a car, I have to take her permission to use it, even if it was an anniversary present or whatever. And she has to give it willingly. But her money is her money. So Islamic tariqa bhi yahi hai. And if she is giving and contributing willingly to the house, then that is her prerogative. Ye bhi main aapko.
Right. And I'll just add one thing to it and then we'll move towards the next question from Sundar. That when I'm around a strong, independent woman, I feel empowered rather than getting worried or getting, people get insecure. But whenever I'm in the surrounding of strong, independent women, I respect it and I get more empowered rather than getting under pressure.
Umar, then you're a rare one. And I salute you.
This is the way I am.
agree with you.
Thank you so much.
Because I have, sadly, a lot of women have issues with me. Women tend to
I can
have issues with more women instead of building us up in our society. Men look at me as competition, and they will never recommend my name for anything of any cadre, because they'll say, "Acha, ye to hamare hi kursi pe aake baithne ke chakkar mein hogi." So it's a big catch-22. So whatever you do, honestly, do it yourself through your own hard work. Nobody helps anybody, sadly. In this, since I've been back, you need to build yourself, and you need to empower your own self and be there for your own self.
That
And
is
that's
some
the way to
advice.
spend it.
I totally agree to it that rather than building each other up, what we have seen over the years into society and in the culture, that people pull each other down. Whereas I think a good leader, who, let it be a man, let it be a woman, is the one who creates backup during their tenure. By the time they leave, they already have backup by youngsters.
You have to create a team, and you have to learn to have people of substance, so that they can add to your cause. Either they feel that if they bring somebody of substance, वो उसकी गद्दी छीन लेगा. ऐसा
Oh my
नहीं.
God.
You need to create a culture where you are a team. Just like in a successful marriage, you need to create a team. You need to create a professional team in the workplace. And your company will grow leaps and bounds, or whatever you're into will grow leaps and bounds on that pretext. But if you have a bunch of monkeys around you, like we are seeing in a lot of situations, let's not name names, Omar can exactly associate what I'm
I'm
implying.
there. I'm there.
So, you need a strong team, because they have to be there to do the legwork. You cannot be everywhere and anywhere at the same time. And it is very important.
It is.
So,
Very
as,
important.
I've reached this stage where, I want people of substance around me. I want my people to be of that caliber, so that they can make my organization grow.
True.
And it
So,
makes
audience with us and people are watching, especially this is a very special comment. Honorable Chancellor Madam Seema Mughal is watching us, and she says, Farah, we are proud of you and your work. You have brought good name to Pakistan. Keep it up.
Ma'am Seema has always been an avid supporter, and she's a sweetheart. And all the love we have for Greenwich is actually for her. She is.
Oh, so sweet.
So thank you very much, ma'am. And please remember us in your prayers, that we can really, take the country's name forward in some which way possible.
Absolutely. So we'll now move to Sundar. Sundar, we were talking about the challenges women face. So your question regarding that to Ms. Farah.
Exactly. So, ma'am, my question is, first of all, thank you so much for highlighting every single female in this society. Rather being just, us professionals, we should always highlight the homemakers as well. Everyone is doing their job. Everyone has to be commended for it. And definitely, you literally won my heart by, mentioning those as well who are at home, because they are amazing. Like you are completely correct. What they are doing, we cannot do. What we are doing, like everybody has their own part.
Absolutely. Everybody has their part in life, and everybody is here to play that part.
Exactly.
जो
So, ma'am,
तरीके से करे.
Right. All right.
so, ma'am, my question is: females are emerging strongly, as you know. Now we see more females getting educated. They're empowering themselves. They're empowering the females around. Some of them, at least, are empowering females around them. So, what do you think, as a female, that if I entered the cooperative, sector, or the sector that you are working in, what are the mistakes that we make? What are the mistakes that you think that shouldn't be made by any female or man? Just any worker shouldn't make that mistake.
I think my lessons are more work-related in life. I think we tend to take people with preconceived notions. When we see people, we are very judgmental. I think one must be open to meeting people when they do meet people, to situations. Frankly, what COVID-19 has taught us, that nothing is constant except change itself. So one must learn to adapt, and one must learn to be open to meeting new situations. For example, I was in Dubai for 10 years. And what I loved about the culture of Dubai and the corporate genre of Dubai was that there were people from all different nationalities and all different walks of life. So you were interacting with different people from different cultures, which perceived things so differently that literally something that is considered sweet in our culture would be considered offensive in theirs. So you must be open, and you must be open to learning and meeting people. And हमारे यहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा preconceived notions हैं. We go a lot on hearsay and what people are saying. We do not form our own judgments on things. I think we need to learn to relax, be less judgmental, and go with the flow, if that makes any sense to you
I'll
guys.
add on something to this. You added a very nice point that one should keep learning and be always open for new things. I'll share a post that I went through today, and it actually hit me right here in the heart. And it said, "Tomorrow's illiterate will not be the man who can't read. He will be the man who has not learned how to unlearn." Because when we look at the time,
Absolutely.
we are in times where we have to adapt, we have to change, otherwise we cannot survive. So if one is very rigid about things, that this will happen our way, we will not be flexible or anything like that, you won't be able to survive, because if you're not flexible, you eventually you'll break.
Omar, you've got a point. Pakistani culture, we are very, very stuck to what we've been told and what we are used to, and these certain perceptions that come down. So that needs to change. And I think the new generation, the younger generation, which is your age bracket, is in an opportune situation right now, because you guys are more susceptible to change and to adapt to new changes. So I think the time is yours, frankly
Yes,
speaking.
it is. So we'll add some more comments from the audience. We have Mr. Tariq Iqbal. He says, Umar, a woman has so many skills and she managed her different skills very honestly, like a professional and personal life. I think he'll get a very good dinner tonight from his wife.
Oh, yeah, वो डंडा लेके पीछे खड़ी है.
Possible. That is a good one. Right. So, ma'am, we talk about Greenwich and all the memories. So, when the name of Greenwich comes, of course, there's lots of memories from your student life. Would you like to share some of your memories?
Very naughty. We I've still got a WhatsApp group from my Greenwich friends, and we still meet up. Even though most of us have lived in and out of the country, some are still abroad, and so we do meet up. We still see each other when they fly in. We meet up for lunches. So Greenwich was home to us, and we even had a little. We used to go to the market next door, और हमारा वहाँ पे सारे restaurants वगैरह होते थे. हमारी कैंटीन अंदर उस वक्त नहीं बनी, तो हम पूरा वक्त क्लास से निकल के भाग के वहाँ जा रहे होते थे खाना खाने. And we had a great time, and and Greenwich was going through its own turmoil during our time, Southeastern se phir unki affiliation. So it was going through its own things, but we were having a great time, and Greenwich was brought with us such lovely memories and experiences, and we've really grown. And some of our teachers were amazing, and some were too strict, and and some we didn't like. So
I'm so sorry.
And so it's interesting, and we've had great memories. Great. And हमने बहुत बदमाशियाँ की है. So we learned to balance.
You mentioned some teachers who are very strict. So, did you ever flunked in any of the course, or got to see out of it?
Good bacha. I was a good bacha, so I didn't have that issue.
Okay, because when I talk about my student life, so I used to hate numbers when it comes to accounts and everything. I just used to run away.
I love numbers. Okay?
In my entire masters, I just got 2 C's. The rest were A's and B pluses. So both of them were in accounts, and it was just because I didn't want to take the class. So that's my confession out of my student life. And
I'll tell you something. Not everybody is good at everything, and They say that you can't judge. There's an old saying, बहुत rudimentary saying है, that you can't judge the intellect of a goldfish by climbing a tree, because a goldfish is not going to be able to climb a tree. So, a lot of now you see changes in the educational system. You guys are already coming online. We're going to have to change at a much rapid pace. Eventually, people are realizing that the educational systems that we've had need to be tweaked. Okay, I'm trying to be politically correct here. Everybody is not good at everything, and we specialize, or we are drawn towards certain specialities, and that's our calling. And that's what we need to figure out. Even in life, we need to figure out what works for us, and
Exactly.
and then we can find out how we can give back to society by finding out what is the skill set that we really came and what we're really good at. Every one of us is talented, but every one of us is talented in a very different way. So the yardstick of measurement cannot be the same. It's not possible. It's incorrect. So a lot of this is being reevaluated. So for life, you really need to find out what is your calling, and then start working on that. And that is the only way you will be unique, and you will outshine everybody else, because
Indeed,
that's what you want to do.
that is a beautiful advice. We'll definitely take that and implement it in our life. So I'll just take this time to tell the audience that our co-host today, Sundar Sanvit, is a literature student from Greenwich. And being a literature student, she has maintained a GPA of 3.7, which is
Wow.
like next to
Stop it.
impossible to maintain a GPA above 3.5 in literature where you don't get
Oh my
marks.
God, you're making her blush.
I know, right? I'm just like, don't say so much. Don't say so much. We're like all.
I'm,
But
I'm
thank you
always
so much.
blamed. I'm always blamed that I make women blush. I don't know why, but
Ooh la la. I don't know what to make of that.
The thing is that Umar, you're surrounded. No. You're surrounded by professional women who are here to talk about business. So when you're going to talk about all these things, we're just going to be very silent and we're not going to reflect on it
I
so
mean,
much.
I fully condone the fact that women are we should look good. We should dress well. We should be comfortable.
Definitely.
And it's great to be complimented. And Sundas, you should learn to take compliments. And
That's the hardest thing for me.
you should do it. You
Hardest
should
thing.
absolutely
you
go.
should you should give tips right now to all the females who are watching us, because throughout this session, I'm not
I
like
think
bugging
it's gone
you or
too
anything.
female centric. I think we need to come back to the entire. The males are going to be like totally left out. And that's
Exactly. We don't have any males over here. Come on, Umar. We need to have a balance. That's just going to be women over here.
I'll tell you something. Most of our comments are coming from the males, so actually they're loving the conversation. But see, on a very serious note, ma'am, the advices that you're giving, I think that is something that we need to talk about, because people never guide the students or the females how to react or how to, behave in the outer world when they're
I'm
practically
still
working.
figuring that one out. Trust me. I'm still figuring that one out. हर वक्त
Yeah.
कोई एक नई situation create होती है which I've not dealt with before. So we're also learning,
We're
and every
learning.
time I've been going a lot. If you read my profile, I've been going a lot on these government courses to the National Defense University. So I'm meeting everybody from bureaucrats to politicians to other business people. And I'm meeting people outside Karachi. The
Right.
reason for going on these programs was because I wanted to learn about Pakistan. I wanted to get out of this Karachi centric approach, and I wanted to see what my country had to offer. So, in that, I ended up meeting a lot of different people from a lot of different places with a lot of different mindsets. And it's in Islamabad, you get to be part of the power corridor. So, that's a whole different animal in its entirety. So, it's been interesting. So situations keep changing. You keep learning to adapt, and you keep learning to handle yourself in accordance to the place.
Right.
So,
Ma'am,
नौबत होती है.
right. Agreed. You mentioned mindset. So this is something very interesting. You've stayed abroad. You've worked out there. You've always been a part of the corporate culture. How do you differentiate the mindsets and mentality in abroad as compared to back here in Pakistan?
We have a long way to go. That's
So
all I would like to sum it up as.
because we're talking about the students and our future generation. So what are the basic guidelines that we need to follow for our students to build that mindset? Because I am a strong debater on this, that we need to change mindsets from the initial student level, where the mind and mentality
open. You have to be open, and I feel the younger generation is way more open than us. I feel we were more open than our parents, and I feel you guys are more open and more absorbent to change, because simply you can tell by the way the pace technology has been changing in your lifespan. You've had no choice but to be adaptive. So you guys have been brought up in a different timeline and a different time span and a different generation, and I feel that has what made you more adaptable, if that makes any sense. But frankly, what I felt when I came back after 10 years to Pakistan is that people and exposure ka issue hai, serious kisam ka. We are happy in our own little cocoons, meeting the same people every day, doing the same thing for the rest of our lives. So when I went abroad and I came back, I felt that I had outgrown people back here, because people travel here, even the affluent class that can afford to travel, they travel more to have a good time, or to go shopping. They don't really do it to grow. Okay, and they go for that limited time period. वही घिसी पिटी जगहें हैं, लंदन हो गया, अमेरिका हो गया या दुबई हो गया, and they don't do it from a perspective to meet new people. So when you're living in that secluded environment which you've been privy to all your life, your comfort zone, when you haven't been pushed out of it, the chances of growth are limited. COVID-19 ने क्या किया है कि हमारी कंफर्ट जोन से हमें झंझोर कर बाहर फेंक दिया है. So we have no choice but to change and to adapt at the moment. So we're doing it out of necessity more than hamari choice. How many of you, if I ask you, how many of you would not be happy that COVID के बाद भी हमारी जिंदगी वैसे ही हो जाए जैसे COVID से पहले थी? We are waiting for that to happen. Intrinsically, we want that to happen. All your retailers are being pathetic and obnoxiously slow in going online. They are still under this mindset कि अभी भी चीजें वापस वैसे ही हो जाएंगी, तो हम ऑनलाइन क्यों आए, हम ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन क्यों करें? We are still not as aggressive in change or susceptible to change. Plus हमारा वो इतना टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट्स और ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग और सबके तरफ रुझान नहीं था जितना वेस्ट का हुआ है. So we were lagging as is. This should have been an opportunity to pole vault, and we haven't done it. I still feel there is massive sort of resistance to change, and that's not going to help anybody. And to have this mindset that if you think it's going to go back to post-COVID, doesn't look like it, and we'd be stupid. But you can see what happened when we opened for a few days before Eid. People were dying of hunger, but shopping shopping like anything. So what happens? I mean, when will this mindset change? Look at the numbers. What is happening? I mean, और वो कपड़े पहन के हम किधर गए थे? Bedroom में. I mean, seriously speaking, like, did you party? Did you go to your relatives and then you go and you did? So what was all that shopping fuss about? It was like हम से छूटे थे and we were wild.
Yeah, there's something, and the results are really serious now, that we're now looking at a more serious lockdown in the near future. However,
yes, we are.
The summarization of the whole thing is that we need to change the way we think, we need to change the way we look at the world, and we need to accept the change, and we need to adapt. Otherwise, we won't be able to move on life.
Instead of trying to change somebody else, change ourselves.
I totally
That's so true.
Because
all hail.
This is too adorable. But because it's how difficult it is अपने आप को change करना, और हम कोशिश में लगे होते हैं हम दूसरे को change करें. Do it to yourself.
Exactly.
I'll add one thing to it, that do not compete with someone else. Compete with your own self.
Thank you.
Who I was yesterday, who I am today, who I want to be tomorrow. Like,
because your life path is very different than everybody else's.
Yeah, so set goals for yourself in life, and even if you're moving a millimeter towards your goal, at least you're moving. So just
Absolutely.
stay positive with life and keep moving forward. And as much as I'm loving this conversation, we're running out of time, and the
Oh.
time just flew. So we'll definitely keep another session sometime. How was your experience on this live session and this initiative that Greenwich has taken?
Absolutely awesome. I've never done this. It's my first. So in the beginning, I was a little nervous, and then finally, I think I was able to start being myself a bit. So
Right.
it was interesting. Turbulent at first, but
You did great. You did great. And what would you like to say for our co-hosts on this?
she is an absolute sweetheart, and I think she's going to do really well. And Umar,
Oh, so sweet.
you just need to train her a bit more, and I think then she'll be giving you a run for your money. Huh? You better be
I,
careful.
I
Oh, mic
always,
drop.
I always support the students, and I'm the one supporter that wants the students to go beyond the teachers. So I'm that kind of
Absolutely.
guy.
That's the
That's so
mark
So
sweet.
of a great teacher. I'll tell you
yeah,
that.
and I get happy when I see my students blossoming and doing well. So that is what I love. And see, so ma'am, I wish you all the best. I hope you stay safe, and we'll definitely have a
I wish
session
you all
sometime.
the best as well. Take care.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. And this was all for today's session. You heard ma'am Farah Agha and the brilliant that she had to give. And I think if you implement those on your life, you'll definitely do very well for your own self and your future at the same time. So this was from today's session. We'll be back tomorrow with another session, another guest. Until next time, stay safe, stay positive, and stay tuned. Pakistan Zindabad.